Muspelheim will be our first map. And right off the bat, we can see Oz spawning in the top left-hand corner.
I still have the taste of chocolate in my mouth, Ben. I tried to eat it in between the break, but I carried it over through the regular broadcast. So guys, if I make all of you hungry at home, excuses-moi, as Le Tut would say. Fnatic Oz is of course the red Protoss spawning on the left top side of Muspelheim. Muspelheim only the starting map for the Tuesday game, so guys, if you're not a big fan of Muspelheim, don't you worry. This is going to be the only time at least you will see it as a starting map, unless people from Division 4 are going to pick it as a regular map as well. Actually, the TVT might be on Muspelheim as well. Well, that should be fun. Of course, on the right bottom side of this map, and we got Liquid Zenio. Team Liquid was performing also well recently. Just the other day took out Team Evil Geniuses 4-0-8-0 in Evil Geniuses, their very own Masters League Cup. And I'm kind of blown away by the results of the league, Ben, as you remember the days when Mouse and EG were tweeting against each other on Twitter, kind of like friendly arguing a little bit about who is the best team, who is the best performing team. Now both of those teams are at the bottom of the EG's Masters Cup. Yeah,
a little bit unfortunate. EG getting pretty smacked by Liquid yesterday.
Yeah.
That was a 4-0, right?
4-0-8-0.
Not even winning a single map against Team Liquid. So of course, EG is still one of the absolute strongest teams in terms of individual talent. They're having a hard time getting it going in the team leagues.
Pretty quick pull over here for Zenio, Ben, trying to get those links out as quick as possible. Doesn't want to bother with probes blocking pylon or warping in pylons and blocking the natural expand. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, we see Oz going for a Nexus first. Now, Ben, I said this before, but if I think of Oz, I think of the series that he had against Stefano at the MLG Summer Arena right after our NASL Season 3 championships.
Of course. And in that series, he developed a little bit of a reputation for two-base play. Doesn't mean that he's incapable of doing anything different. In fact, that's quite the contrary. We've seen some great macro games out of Oz, but he certainly has a little bit of a leaning towards the aggression, and definitely when he's playing against Zerg.
Well, he cancelled the pylon, so Zenio will still be able to get his hatchery up in time. Now, talking a little bit about Muspelheim, perhaps a map that some of you guys are not that familiar with. Well, guys, welcome to the crew, because I would lie if we say that we are complete experts on this map. But Ben, what I've seen from this map and the very few games that I played on this map as well is that for a Protoss player it can be pretty damn hard to go up to 3 bases. What I would recommend is kind of old school Metalopolis playstyle where you get one pylon over here and then gate with 2 cannons behind it. So basically then you only have to worry about this area. Well, those links almost sneaked in, but Oz did manage to warp in a pylon at the very last moment. Sorry that I did not pay attention to that, as I was carried away with my own little story.
I agree with you, Kevin. That's probably the best way to go about securing a third base. It's difficult on this map because of how open the third is, how far away it is from the natural, and because of how very mobile, I guess, mid-game Zerg armies are.
And certainly Zenio, Ben, even though Zenio definitely switched up his style quite a bit and he became a little bit more of a standard Zerg, we still know that he loves to be an aggressive player. When I think of Zenio, Ben, I think of a Brazilian football player. You know why? Because they're all born as attackers, and eventually they will realize that, hey, I might not be the best striker, I might have to be a midfielder. And eventually some are going to realize, you know what, if I still want to play professional football, I'm going to have to be a defender. Now Zenio, despite playing a little bit more passive over the last few months, he still has it in him to be a very aggressive player.
Yeah, absolutely he does.
He loves to attack.
And we also know that he loves to mix in unorthodox unit combinations and basically build orders.
Hydraling!
Hydraling into Muta is one of the things that he's, like, if he's famous for anything, it's probably for something like that. Haven't seen it out of him, I think, at all this season, but I would really love to because it is an exciting, dynamic way to play StarCraft.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Ben. Chronobus going down on the Cybernetics core and the Gateway, of course, keeping a close eye on all the assimilators. We see that so far Oz only took 1 gas in his main base, Ben. Zenio does have an Overlord lurking outside of the main base, but he's not able to spot those assimilators yet, so Zenio doesn't know.
No, he does not. And
I mean, you're going to have to feel that this is going to be a very aggressive Oz.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like maybe a +1 timing with some gates. There go 3 more gates, so it will be at least a 4 gate.
But he doesn't have +1, so I'm more starting to feel like this straight up 7 gate.
Oh, you're right. He doesn't. Why did I think +1 was spinning? That Forge is so shiny, Kev.
You know why, Ben? Because he used Kleenex.
Kleenex?
Yeah. It's those wipeout tissues. You make everything shine.
Oh. Robo goes down, so
I'm not surprised that you don't know about that, since I've seen your house and you don't like to clean up very much. Just kidding, bro. Oh.
Bro, you live in my house.
I know. I'm not very good either. The day I see you like on your knees scraping the floor, that's gonna be the day that I take a picture. But I'm afraid I will never see that day. You're more of a mate, though.
3 bases and a layer on the way for Zenio.
Would you say that you're a person who likes to clean the floor, Ben?
With extra gases and the Roach Warren going down. Zenio preparing for Oz's aggression. If in fact that is what we're going to see.
Yeah, 4 zealots being wiped in. Oz just going to try to put on some pressure, perhaps force out as many units as possible. But he's also getting Immortals behind this. And now he's getting the armor upgrade, Ben, before the attack upgrade. Does pick up the Queen already, so that's a pretty big pickup.
It's going to be only Zerglings defending against these gateway units, but with no +1, that might be enough. But there's going to be more and more warpins. Actually, this is going to be pretty tough.
Zenio is going to be very hard with just links, and I think this hatchery ban is pretty much doomed to fall. Oz, not even trying to go all out with his aggression, is actually going to achieve more than he could have dreamed of. 5 roaches are on the way, but this hatchery is going to fall. The second queen is going to fall. He might be able to pick up this overlord. Zenio is already supply blocked. Oh god, this is not good for our Zerg from Team Liquid.
Maybe if he can kill all of these units, it'll be okay, as there's really no sentries in this army composition, and Roach Ling, if it can get up on top of these Zealots, will probably kill everything, and that's exactly what we're going to start seeing here. Zealots pounding away at the Roaches while the Zerglings go and deal with the Stalkers.
Lost 1 Roach there, a little bit sloppy. Unnecessary, of course. Now 5 Hydrolisk are in production as well. And that should trigger for us, just to be like, okay, if he doesn't know, of course. But the moment he's going to see the first Hydra, I'm pretty damn sure, and he's immediately going to warp in the Robotics Bay and be like, alright, if you're spending that much on, well, worthless units, or at least units that are going to be worthless within a few minutes, I can just turtle up to Colossus and push out with that incredibly strong Protoss army and most likely win the game.
Oz is going to go ahead and back off here. Zenio working on about 50 drones at 2 bases. He's retaking his 3rd. I'm not really sure what Zenio can do from this position. You have to feel like maybe some kind of Roach Hydra timing is his best bet. But as you said, Kevin, as soon as Oz realizes exactly what's happening, he's just going to throw down the Robo Bay.
But he's going to wipe in 2 more gates. He might actually be, try to deal with these Hydra. Wow, this is annoying, by the way. So many links. Only 3 of them were able to attack. Seems like he just wants to deal with this with Sentries, Force Fields, Blink Stalkers and Immortals, which is definitely not mission impossible, don't get me wrong guys, even though he should really get +1 if he wants to do that. Because upgrades, man, of course, are going to be very important on Stalkers if you want to go head-to-head with Hydrolisk.
Roach Hydra is making his way across the map. Oz's army is huge, Kev.
What an unusual game.
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of what happens when that kind of just pretty standard gateway pressure is able to kill a 3rd base. It puts Zerg in a really awkward position.
But this is not Heart of the Swarm, man. There's no speed upgrades for these Hydras. It takes so long for these super slow Hydralisks to make their way across the base and map. And yeah, Zenio might be able to keep Oz on 2 bases for a little while. Oz actually going to try to fight over here, which I'm not sure if it's the best idea. I guess his army is stronger, but I think he's going to lose quite a bit.
I don't know. He's got a lot of sentries. He's got a lot of Immortals. There's not that many Zealots. Hydra's going to do some fantastic damage here. What is... oh, man. Zenio's going to get crushed.
Zenio, most of his units were not actually there yet. Force Fields landing big time. Guardian Shield helping out. And Zenio knowing that the investment he made into all those Hydralisks was pretty much useless. I think first Zenio underestimated the aggression and then he overreacted to it by thinking, all I have to do right now is survive. That's why I'm going to make as many Hydralisks as possible. But once Oz just like marked in a couple of Zealots and then backed off, Zenio realized that he had to be aggressive with the Hydras and it was useless. Because of course, if you are like facing a Protoss who's super all in on 2 base, getting those Hydras out might be what just turns it around. I mean, we've casted some sick games in the past where I think even it was Zenio on dual side where he defended against some super sick 2 base Protoss all in. And we thought he was dead, and then with the Hydras he pushed him back and still won the game. But in this scenario, Oz was far from all in.
Again, brought to you guys by LABite.com, premier restaurant food delivery service servicing the Los Angeles and Orange County areas. If you guys live around LA and you want to use a premier food delivery service, check out LABite.com. Use the promo code NASL for a little bit of a discount.
Getting discount on your favorite food, man. Is there anything better than that?
Half off Pizookie sounds like a good thing to me. We're going to take a quick break, guys. Game number 2, Zenio versus Oz when we get back.